Shane Larkin is one of the best players you can study as a smaller guard, no doubt in my mind. And I especially like studying him because although he has done this at the NBA level and has proven himself, he's really made a name for himself playing in Europe with FIBA rules and that European style of play, which many times is even more applicable to the vast majority of players compared to the NBA style of play. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how he actually uses being a shorter player to his advantage, and then what makes him so tough despite having this shorter stature. Also, real quick, I'm coming around the world to over 25 countries to do camps this year. Definitely make sure to check if I'm coming your way. We'll hope to see you guys there. Let's get it. So first off is just his ability to sneak through tight spaces. These opportunities to accelerate right through two defenders are there more often than we know, and not even just on traps. But he knows as a compact, smaller guard that he can get through these tight spaces. And he takes advantage of this by actually attacking these small spaces with lower dribbles, cuffs, and more. And usually when you get through these, there's a lot of open space on that other side. He's also super slippery in terms of getting in front and around a defender he's in an angle battle with. We've all been there. You're hip to hip with a defender, maybe getting some contact, and if you're able to jet in front of them, it makes the play so much easier. And Larkin does this crazy well, obviously partially with speed, but also being very deliberate with his angle and using his low center of mass to initiate some contact. And he comes out the other side very in control. Even if you can get past and sneak in front, you have to be able to control this momentum and potential contact on the finish, shot, pass, whatever. And then speaking of lower center of masses, this applies to his ball handling heavy. Being a bit shorter actually helps him hit defenders low with contact and stay balanced as he's maneuvering. And on this note, quickly notice how he uses his positioning to gain an advantage. Whether it's staying in front to make it damn near impossible to contest, deliberately placing his body in between the defender and the ball, or like here where he leans in to get in front, but also to engage this help defender a bit more, which allows this easy drop off to the big. And staying on the topic of finishes, watch how he jumps horizontally on these to cover ground after jumping. Obviously this gains some separation from the defender, but from a timing perspective, this is tough to defend. How often, as a big, do you really see a player jump forward or horizontally so far? It's tough to time and predict when and where that contest or that potential block would come. And by making it a bit multi-directional too, so jumping in different directions, it's even tougher for them. Moving towards the shooting side of his game, his pop off the ground is unreal. His ability to go from an in-stride attack or a dribble straight into an elevated jumper in a matter of milliseconds helps him get off perimeter shots easily. And for small guards just in general, it's usually a bit easier to pop off the ground on jumpers. Not even necessarily speaking about the height of the jump, but just the quickness off the ground. He's also insanely adaptable on his shots. He can lose the ball into the pickup and still make it. He can fade and drift. And these shots he uses especially well to gain separation. And I actually believe that faders can be a little bit easier for small guards just because their limbs are shorter and closer to their center of mass, so they don't have these long limbs to control in mid-air. They're more compact. But honestly, this is the same thing on your finishes, right? And developing that aerial coordination. When your limbs are closer to your body, it's easier to control most times. You're more compact. So being able to adjust and finish in mid-air at the rim is also easier. Plus, going back to the fade, just growing up as a smaller guard, you have no choice but to develop this fading or drifting ability. And he's just an overall shot maker. It doesn't matter if the shot is perfect, he's got a good chance of knocking it down. And you need this as an elite small guard. You can't just be able to shoot perfect shots. And it's the same thing at the rim. He can adjust, rotate, take contact, whatever, and still make it happen with unbelievable touch and composure. Lastly here, a few quick points or techniques that you can pull from. Number one, he's constantly looking to feed his big men with oops and dishes, so they'll continue to screen for him and do it well. As he collapses the defense off a drive or a pick and roll, it seems like he knows that if he continues to make passes like this, the bigs are going to reciprocate this with great screens like this. And this helps him get open shots. He also makes sure he takes easy opportunities, like closeouts. He gets a lot of tough buckets, but as a smaller guard, being able to take the easy opportunities is just as important. So it seems like he's always looking to attack a closing out defender. Then the confidence. It's crazy and it's unwavering. You gotta have this as a small guard, period. You have to be a killer and not see yourself as at a disadvantage, but rather as ready for anything. And then lastly, I truly believe that as a small guard, you're in a position to get superiorly skilled. When you're constantly the smallest on the court, you have no choice. Every time on the court is a challenge. Most of your shots are going to be heavily contested. Your finishing won't be as easy. So this natural challenge is always there. So if you're persistent enough to work through this, you don't give up, and you never limit yourself, that's a pretty good recipe for improving a ton over time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to stay tuned as always for everything that we have going on. Appreciate you guys as always. See you soon.